One of the best storylines from the 2023 MLB season was the revival of Cody Bellinger's career, coming back off two incredibly down years, facing adversity, going to a new team, and becoming a star once more. But now he might be looking for another team. He's a free agent and in a weak hitters market could field a very hefty bag this offseason. So let's go ahead and break down how we got here and how Cody Bellinger has really brought himself back into superstardom. 2017 is the year Cody Bellinger broke on, and what a year for him to debut. He played in 132 games, swatted 39 home runs, landing at an OPS plus of 143. In the midst of that season, he was participating in the home run derby as a rookie, which, speaking of being a rookie, he also took home the hardware, winning Rookie of the Year. But the year would extend long past the regular season for the Dodgers, who would end up making the World Series, taking the Houston Astros to 7 games, ultimately coming up a bit short. They weren't able to lose the World Series, but Cody Bellinger had solidified himself already year one as a face that everybody is going to be watching. Next year, numbers were still quite good. Bellinger played in every game, 81 of those in the outfield. He had really started to build a reputation as one of the game's elite defenders. Offensively, the numbers did dip a bit. Look at Cody's ISO, measuring his raw isolated power. It went from 315 in 2017 down to 210. Combine that with an OPS plus of 120, and Cody Bellinger had put up some pretty dang good numbers in his sophomore season, even if they weren't quite as good as his rookie year. Nevertheless, the Dodgers would wind up in the World Series once more, but would face a pretty similar result, this time in 5 games, losing to the Boston Red Sox. And by Bellinger's age 23 season, already having played at about 300 regular season and over 30 postseason games, 2019 was one for the ages. Cody Bellinger hitting 47 home runs, a batting average above 300, an OPS above 1,000. And that's not to mention the defense, a Gold Glove win for Cody as he had an absolute stellar season with the glove. Coming into 2020, Bellinger widely seen as a top 5, top 3 player in baseball, but as we all know, the 2020 season was difficult for many. Schedule reduced to 60 games, no fans in attendance, and a good bit of that reflected on Cody. It was his worst year as a professional, still an OPS plus at 112, playing very good defense and really coming alive in October. A couple huge home runs, leading the Dodgers to their 3rd World Series appearance in the last 4 years, and later their first championship in the last 32 years. But in celebrating one of those clutch home runs against the Braves in the NLCS, this fateful forearm bash with teammate Enrique Hernandez that Cody would forever regret. He'd receive a dislocated shoulder for that act of celebration, which would really start to hinder the future of Cody Bellinger. 2021 was downright terrible. Bellinger looked completely lost, his on-base percentage only reaching .240, a batting average at 165, a strikeout rate more than 10 percentage points higher than what he had in his MVP season, all amounting to a negative WAR and an OPS plus down to 44. 2022 wasn't a whole lot better. Cody did play about 50 more games. His batting average increased by about 50 more points. His WAR surfaced into the positive figures, but all that to say, Bellinger failed, and the Dodgers were done. Los Angeles made the choice to non-tender him, not offering him a contract for the 2023 season and thus making him a free agent. 2-time All-Star, MVP, World Series champion, but the last 2 years, Bellinger playing like one of the worst hitters in baseball. Fortunately for Cody, he found a great landing spot. Just 1 year The Cubs were willing to offer Cody, never more aptly named a prove-it year, and the Cubs seemed like a great fit. The hitting coach, hired by the Chicago Cubs, Dustin Kelly, a man who happened to work with Cody Bellinger during his peak years. And in 2023, Cody Bellinger came back. A very impressive season by the now 7-year veteran. Cody set a career high in batting average, hitting .307, clubbed 26 home runs and about 100 RBIs in just 130 games, all leading towards a 133 OPS plus alongside some excellent defense at outfield and first base and swiping 20 bags. It was almost a complete return to form type of season. This was some of the best and most complete Cody Bellinger we had seen to date. And of course, I want to talk about why. What changed in Cody Bellinger to turn him from one of the league's most dreadful hitters the last 2 years into one of the best? I think we should begin at my favorite stat of all, strikeout rate. As I mentioned, Cody in 21 and 22 was setting career highs in strikeout percentage. He hovered at about 27% of all plate appearances would end with the Bellinger strikeout. And with strikeouts come whiff rate. Lots of swinging and missing from Bellinger, hovering around the 27 and 30 percentage points. And he basically cut those in half. In 2023, the strikeout rate down to 15.7%, the lowest in his career. Cody made contact at an unprecedented rate for him this year. The whiff rate also trumped his 2019 MVP season. Early in his career, Cody Bellinger became known as a punisher of fastballs, but that dipped a lot, and he became truly awful hitting the fastball. Batting average plummeting to 200 and lower. The whiff rate soaring to near 30%. You look at some of these clips and Cody just looks outmatched. A pitch in the same spot that Bellinger would make you pay dearly for just a few years prior. You see lots of strikeouts, you see lots of pop-ups, and this year was a big improvement on the fastball. The batting average right near 300 clip, 293. The slugging percentage about 500. Now, that's nowhere near the 652 that he had in 2019. And we'll talk about the power numbers and how he can hopefully remedy that in the near future. But putting bat on ball and getting on base is the name of the game, and the fastball was a big improvement. Breaking balls, just like for many other lefty sluggers, can be a hardship for Cody Bellinger, especially 2021 and 2022. He was abysmal when the pitch was thrown to him. Whiff rates of 31.8 and 34.6. He hit just 5 home runs combined in both those 2 years. His slugging percentage never getting above 268. Like we mentioned, Bellinger had the shoulder issue, so he was constantly battling an injured shoulder, which is a major factor when it comes to swing path and barrel control. An injured shoulder like that is going to make it very difficult to remain and have a consistent anchor point, and loss is going to lead to a lot of flailing. Pitches that Cody would typically crush right middle in his wheelhouse, he would have a difficult time getting the barrel of the bat onto the baseball. We've talked a lot about career best. Let's mention another one. This was on record the best season that Bellinger's had against the slider. He had a 10 run value on the pitch this year, batting average at 333 and the slug at 571. 5 homers in 21 and 22 combined against breaking pitches. He had 11 this season alone. There was a lot to fix with Cody. Particularly one thing was zone control. Again, the strikeouts is a very clear indicator of that. His discipline has lost a touch, but also his ability to hit outside pitches really fell off. You look at a couple of heat maps right there in comparison of his highs in 2019, and you notice that the scouting report on Cody becomes pretty easy at that point. If you're a left-handed pitcher, you throw him an outside breaking ball, there's almost no chance of him hurting you. And if you break down the film a little bit, you see he's bowing out. He's trying to pull everything, which again I think does stem from his shoulder issue, but I also think it's Cody pushing. It's him realizing that he's struggling, and an easy way to make up for that is to hit a home run. And that game plan just was not working. His hips are flying open, all his weight on the front foot, meaning the best he could do on some of these outside pitches is just a lazy fly ball or hitting a slow roller to an infielder. And the difference from this year is just astounding. Hitting nearly 400 on in-zone outside pitches. Location matters a ton in baseball, and sometimes you just gotta take what the pitcher gives you. And I have just one more career best for you here, and that's against left-handed pitching. The highest OPS against lefties in his entire career at 984. During those 2 dark years for Bellinger, hitting against lefties was just not an option. A 583 OPS in 2022 seemed great compared to his 382 in 2021. But now, just as we talked about the improvements that allowed Bellinger to have this incredible bounce back year, we have to talk about some underlying issues, under the hood metrics that might cause some concern for a team looking to sign him. Cody's barrel rate, his hard hit rate, and overall exit velocity were considerably down despite his batting average being pretty much identical to his MVP season. And going hand in hand with that, his chase rate didn't really change from his poor 21 and 22 campaigns. And I think what that says about the 23 season for Cody, he still had a broadened strike zone. He's just as willing to fish out a ball out of the zone as he was in 21 and 22, but the difference is he's able to get bat on ball. He's using the whole field. He's able to find gaps in the defense, and while it might not be a 100-mile-an-hour scorcher, it's good enough for a base hit. And Major League Baseball is definitely shying away from that approach. But going back and looking at a lot of Bellinger footage from this year, it was pretty damn remarkable how well he was able to get bat to the ball, and you can tell he knows where these pitches are going. He's just feeling comfortable enough that he can go and hit it. I think when it comes down to it, Cody has made a lot of fundamental changes on how he approaches each and every at-bat. When it's a pitch he really wants, like a hanging breaking ball coming middle in, he's gonna try to send it into the third deck. But he's not trying to be the hero on every single pitch. The shoulder's healthy enough where he can get the bat where it needs to be and go look for a base hit. And you combine that with his still elite defense, a very good center fielder, and also pretty dang good at first base as well. He gives you the versatility and well above average speed. You're looking at one of the best players in baseball. So like I said, I am super happy that Cody was able to revitalize his career the way that he did. There was a ton of doubters. A lot of people thought he wouldn't ever come even close to the things that he did in the first couple of years of his career. The pressure never higher for him to come out with a good season, and he delivered. And now here in the off season, we're just gonna have to wait and see where the next chapter of Cody Bellinger's illustrious career is going to take him.